What is happening, everybody? It's time for another Draw Reveal show presented by Ensure Max Protein, and it's the Veolia Atlanta Pickleball Championships. It's a slam. It's a big one. Let's jump into the storylines. Here we go. Let's start with the breakup. Yes, Annalie Waters, Catherine Parento, Capuzzi. R.I.P. girlies. The question is will the new teams make it all the way to the Sunday final and we get a breakup showdown? We shall see. Second storyline is the ball. We're actually playing at a Lifetime Athletic Country Club, and we are going to use the Lifetime ball. It's a little bouncier, so players that like to speed up off the bounce, I bet you we'll see more of that. We'll look at what the impact of that will be all week. What is the MLP impact? A lot of players playing very well on their Major League Pickleball team, some not so much. Will that matter? Will that impact the results on the Carvana PPA Tour? We'll be tracking that. And what happens when a teammate plays another teammate and we get shock on shock crime, for example? We'll see what that looks like. Next, the weather. It is always hot and humid in the ATL. Will that slowing down the pace because of the heat make some teams more susceptible to an upset than others? We'll keep an eye on that. And then, as I mentioned, this is the second slam of the year. We started with the Masters. 2,000 points on the line. This is a big one. Let's jump into the draws. And as always, ladies first. And you want to talk about a fiery competitor. Kate Fahey moved to North Carolina, played the North Carolina event, and she won it with a stirring comeback in singles, came back to beat Paris Todd. So she is the 2 seed. She's playing fantastic. Let's take a look at what her Ensure Max Protein projected path to the final would look like. She gets to the round of 16. She's got Ignatowicz, then Leah Jansen, who's playing some great ball this year, and then could run into Caitlin Christian, who was amazing at the beginning of the year. Haven't seen those same results, but always a dangerous competitor. That's who she'd run into in the semifinals. Let's take a look at the whole draw. And it always starts and ends with Annalie Waters, undefeated in singles in 2025. But looky here who's lurking. Georgia freaking Johnson. That's right. She's wrecking everything in her path this year. Singles isn't always her specialty, but oh so dangerous. They could play in the round of 16. That will be must-see TV. Also over here, we have Brooke Buckner. She got as high as the 2 seed, now the 5 seed in the rankings. Victoria DiMuzio looking to show that, hey, I belong, I'm a big thing, an Atlanta bouncer, looking to see if the pundits who've talked big about her will see their faith delivered on. Mary Brasha, the 10 seed, always somebody who is dangerous. We saw a new paddle in her hand recently. We'll see if that makes a difference. Salome Davidze was the only player to beat Annalie Waters last year. She is the 8 seed. Dom Schaefer, the 12, always dangerous in singles. And then look at this early round. I always like to find these interesting early round matchups. We got Liz Trueluck, the 19, versus Megan Dazan, jumping in to play some singles, the 46 seed. She's a member of the New Jersey Fives with Major League Pickleball now, so those reps are important because that is a team that thrives on the Dream Breaker. And then Lena Jansen is a terrific player, the 15 seed. She's actually getting married on May 10th and then jumping into the tournament. Congrats to her. And then finally, Paris Todd at the bottom there, the 4 seed, just playing lights out all year long. Watch out for her. On this side, there's Fahey at the top, the 2 seed. Another very fun early round match. Samantha Parker jumped into the Orlando Squeeze MLP team and has held up very well. She'll play the veteran, the scrappy Elise Jones. That'll be a fun match to watch. 6 seeds, Leah Jansen, we talked about her. Jeannie Bouchard's the 11 seed, looking to do something again. She was great in the slam earlier in the year, beat Brooke Buckner. Can she find some magic? Zoe Wong, the 9, always trouble. And then look where Catherine Parento is now in singles, all the way down to the 7 seed. hasn't played a ton, did not win a tournament last year or in 2025. Is this the event where everything goes her way? We'll find out. And then there at the bottom, you see Caitlin Christian, the 3 seed. Women's singles is always fantastic. Who's going to get to Sunday? We shall see. Now, let's move on to the fellas. And there he is. He used to be Church, now not as often making it to Sunday. In fact, hasn't won this year since the slam at the Masters where he did take the title. So let's see what his path, his Ensure Max Protein path to the final would look like. If he gets through to the round of 16, Gabe Joseph, that's no picnic. He is flying all over the court, has that beautiful Tui. No one covers the court better than Gabe. That will be a great match if it happens. Dylan Frazier in the quarters, and then Tui Nation, Connor Garnett in the semifinals. Men's singles is always a handful. Wait till you see this draw. Let's take a look at it. The 1 seed, there's Sped up at the top. He could have an early round battle with Max Freeman, the lefty. He's playing Alhouni early on. That is terrific. And then Gabe Joseph up against Zane Navratil. So just getting going is not easy here in men's. Then we have Ross Whitaker, who had to jump in and get his pickleball on. He had to join the Carolina Hogs in Major League Pickleball. He is going to play the youngster from Bradenton, Florida, Lucian Goins. So 44 versus 23 there. All this intrigue, and again, this is a progressive draw. We play 1 round at a time, starting with the round of 64 on Tuesday, all the way to Championship Sunday. So these are all early round matchups. We got Jack Sock and Jonathan Medina Alvarez, who's a terrific lefty veteran of singles. There you see Tui Nation Garnett, the 3. Jaume Martinez-Vic's been playing some really good ball all year long, including in Major League Pickleball. He's the 5. And then how fun is the 31 versus the 35? Cher Bear against the Flying Frenchman. And yeah, De Villiers with that injury last year lost a lot of his singles points, so he's going to have to scrap his way back into the mix to improve his ranking and his seed. 31 v 35. There's a lot of fun. On this side, Hunter Johnson's the 2 seed. Hunter had to scratch from MLP Orlando, cut himself doing the dishes. That's what happens when you help out around the house. He's going to be fine here. It's back in the draw. He is the 2 seed. And then look at this. Just these matchups early are fantastic. The 13 seed, Roscoe Bellamy, who had to jump in for the sick CJ Klinger at MLP Columbus, will play Big Papa Jimmy, who doesn't play a lot of singles. That's why he's carrying the 50 seed, but that's not his talent level. That is going to be an absolute war with the 2 big fellas, wrecking serves and forehands. QD's the 6th seed, and lurking right below there, Michael Lloyd had some real nice results at the end of last year. Let's see if he can get going in the ATL. Ben Johns, yes, has slipped all the way down to the 4 seed. Hasn't played a full schedule, hasn't had huge results in singles, so we'll see if this is his week or not. Zane Ford, the 15, versus Eric Onsens, the 54. Again, hasn't played a lot. Ridiculous early round match. And then look at this. Alshon, the 7, got back-to-back wins earlier this year. No one's a hotter singles player than him. And then finally, Blaine Hovenier, another big fella from the West Coast, against Julian Arnold. That's the 28 versus the 34. So men's singles early on, do not miss any of that. That's terrific. The question is, who's going to get it to Sunday? We shall see. Now, let's move on to mixed doubles. And Georgia freaking Johnson and J.W. Johnson, what did they do? They beat Ben and Anna Lee 11-8 in the 5th in North Carolina. A tremendous win for these 2. And then they went in as the Dallas Flash and wrecked everybody at MLP Orlando. So this is one confident duo. Let's take a look at the draw that they will run into. So they're going to have to play Callie Smith and Jay De Villiers on their Ensure Max Protein run to the final. Then Jesse Irvin and Gabe Tardio, who is a very good team, couple of wins last year. And then finally, Etta Tuionatoa and the pterodactyl Christian Alshon. So not an easy path to the final, but everyone that has to run into them would say the same in return. Let's get to the details of the draw. Waters and Johns up there at the top. They could play Brooke Buckner and Connor Garnett early on. And then look who's back together. Riley and Lindsay Newman, for the first time since August of 23, brother, sister, have a lot of wins in their history, but it's not recent history. But they are going to be fun to watch as the 14 seed. Anna Bright and QD playing together. They played one other tournament together. That was in Dallas last year. They finished fourth. They're going to be a handful. Couple of shocks. Yeah, that's right. Fahey and Patrick Quinn are the 10. Jeannie Bouchard and Jack Sock, a couple of Phoenix Flames together. They're looking for better results. Did not have a good MLP mixed doubles experience. Catherine Parento and Federico Staxrud, always dangerous, always in the medal consideration. They're the 3. And then you want to talk about a matchup of the potential of who's coming down the pike potentially. We got Zane Ford and Victoria DiMuzio playing against Lucia Goins and Maya Bowie. That is potential all over the 20x44. Can't wait to watch that one. Hurricane Tyra Black and Big Papa Jimmy could win this whole thing. That's how much potential they have. Can Ignatowicz take over with that big reach in the middle? And then another amazing team, and they're the 9 seed. They've made a final together. That's Andre Diescu and Tina Pisnik. And that sounds like an amazing tournament. That's just half of the draw. Let's look over here. There's the Johnson siblings up at the top. Watch out for them. We mentioned Irvin and Tardio. We also see Eric Onsens and Millie Rain, who could be terrific. Millie Rain was awesome at MLP Columbus, especially in mixed doubles. So her plus Onsens flying all over the place. That is a terrific 28 seed. The Australian winners, Schneeman and McGuffin there as the 12 seed. Talked about Alshon and Tui Onatoa. There's where they are. And then we've got Noe Cliff and Leah Jansen. That's a 15 seed. That sounds like a seed way better than that. The 20, that's how far Lucy Kovalova and Matt Wright have slipped in the rankings. They're now the 20 seed. Rohrabacher and Barr, partners in MLP on DC. Hold. Brooklyn, remember, the switcheroo. So they're partners there. That will help them. They're the 7 seed here. Martinez Vic playing with Megan Dazan. That sounds fun, as the 11 seed. And then Julian Arnold and Lauren Stratman as the 21. Mixed is going to be bonkers. Again, every day, great play. 1 round at a time. Round of 64 Tuesday, round of 32 Wednesday, and so on. Semifinal Saturday, and then championship Sunday. So I love me some mixed doubles. But wait a minute. Let's talk about women's doubles now. I mentioned the breakup. Well, guess what? It's actually Rachel Rohrabacher and Catherine Parento who are the 1 seed here. Yes, they have 100 more points than Anna Lee and Anna Bright. So they get the 1 by their name. Let's see what their Ensure Max Protein projected path to the final looks like. They'd play the Walker sisters in the round of 16. Jessie Irvin and Lacey Schneeman, that is a very good team. Watch out for them potentially in the quarterfinal. And then Jade Kawamoto made the final here last year. She's playing with Georgia Johnson. So these two will have their hands full, never played together, getting practice in before the event. They were dealt a tough card, these two. Let's see how they deal with it, and ironically are the number 1 seed. The number 2 seed, yeah, we're looking at both teams here, is Annalie Waters and Anna Bright. Annalie Waters made the call to Catherine Parento to do the breakup, then calls Anna Bright. Anna Bright says yes. Anna Bright then RIP girlies. That's what happened. Now we're going to get to settle this on the 20x44. Let's look at their path. They would play Lane Sleeth and Andrea Koop. As I mentioned, Koop played great here last year. In the quarterfinals, it would be Callie, Joe Smith, and Elise Jones. They are the 5 seed, the couple of Utah veterans. And then all Hurricane Tyra Black and Paris Todd have done this year is win. They've got to win this year. And that would be an epic semifinal if we see this team versus that team. Let's look at the entire draw now. There you see Catherine Parento and Rachel Rohrabacher at the top, Irvin and Schneemann. Mary and Maggie Brasha are the 11. And congratulations, Maggie Brasha just graduated from college, so she's got that behind her. That's a big accomplishment. Way to go, Maggie Brasha. There's the Ford seed, Jade and Georgia. Caitlin Christian playing with Millie Rain. A lot of goodness there. And then Sam Parker's been playing terrific, as I mentioned, for the Orlando Squeeze. She's with Jeannie Irakina. Look out for them. Couple of veterans in Kovalova and Jansen. And then Kate Fahey and Tina Pisnik have been this close several times to pull an upset over the top two teams when they were in their original form. Let's see how they do. That's a 9 seed you do not want to play. Over here, there's Annalie Waters and Anna Bright as the 2 seed. Smith and Jones right there. Vivian David and Etta Tuionatoa as the 10. That sounds like a very dangerous team playing together for the first time. They actually entered a tournament a couple years ago and had to scratch due to injury. Black and Todd, got my eyes on them for sure. And then Mari Humberg and Megan Dazan are the 8, and Zoe Wong and Brooke Buckner are the 12 seed. They played a lot of pickle together. We'll see if they can find their best stuff. So all eyes are gonna be on women's doubles. Do we get the breakup Sunday showdown? Do the 1 and 2 hold up their end of the bargain? We shall see. Now, on the men's doubles, there they are. Team Power Forward, they're 21 and 2 as a duo. They are unbelievably good. Can they make it all the way to the final? Well, let's look at their Ensure Max Protein projected path. Round of 16 would be Arnold and Smith. And then look out for this tricky team, Martinez Vick and Pablo Tejas in the quarterfinals. And then only the hottest team, hotter than these two, in the semis would be Ben Johns and Gabe Tardio. These two made the final and lost, then won the next 2 events they played. So Ben and Gabe are terrific. That's a potential semifinal. Let's take a look at the draw. The top seed up there, Hayden Patriquin and Federico Staxrud have been playing lights out in MLP. They're going to bring all that positivity to Atlanta. They could have a fun early round. Look at all. Can you imagine how loud that match is going to be if it happens with Onsens and Hewitt making their way over there? That will be terrific. On the other end of the spectrum, from a volume perspective, is Team Chill. That's J.W. Johnson and C.J. Klinger. We were just so sad for CJ, the Columbus kid, playing for the Sliders, got the flu, and it just wrecked him. He couldn't play for his team. He was heartbroken. His face was on billboards in town, and he couldn't play. We hope he is back and 100%. And this is a team we thought could really do some damage. We'll see if they can get it done in Atlanta. The 9 seed, Cliff and McGuffin, look out for that duo. And then look at this, Big Papa Jimmy playing with a different CJ. Colin Johnson's the 6 seed. And then we've got a couple of LA Mad Drops who didn't get to play together due to the Hunter Johnson finger injury. They're back together, Duong and Hunter Johnson as the 11. On this side, we got Gabe Tardio, Ben Johns, and look who the 8 is. All this talk about breakups, the most celebrated breakup we had, they were never, ever, ever, cue your tay, getting back together. And then they did, and now they're playing again in a slam. That's Matt Wright and Riley Newman as the 8 seed. If they run into Ben and Gabe, that could be a lot of fun. 10 seed are a couple Utah Black Diamonds, Garnett and Leung. There's Team Power Forward, Diascu and Christian Alshon as the 3. Look out. Tejas and Martinez Vick, the 7. And then Jocelyn DeVilliers and Augie Ga as a 12. DeVilliers looks 100% healthy, and we saw him using a Yola paddle in MLP. So look out for him. He had some extra spark in Columbus. So those are the draws. My goodness, is this event going to be awesome. Again, progressive draw, 2,000 points. What's coming up next, you ask? I got you right here. we've got a couple of great events. MLP Austin is next. The Texas Ranchers are going to host that. And then we've got MLP Phoenix. You know the Flames are going to put on a show. They are Team Showtime, after all. And then the next PPA event will be in June. That's right, the Orange County Cup. We love going out to San Clemente. So these are the next 3 events. Where can you watch all of this? Come on, we've got you covered. Pickleball TV every morning starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, West Coasters, you're going to have to get up early to see all this amazing pickleball that I've been showing you. And then we've got 2 nice blocks in the afternoon on Saturday for the semis and on Sunday for the finals on Tennis Channel. So I cannot wait to get to Atlanta for this amazing event. Can't thank Ensure Max Protein enough for being the sponsor of this show. Thank you at home for watching all the great athletes on the Carvana PPA Tour and for watching this show. I really appreciate it. I'm Dave Fleming. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.